Perfect. So, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Sharon Whiteman, and it's my great pleasure and privilege to be here every week, not only with all of you, but with my colleagues, Diana Hunter and Gary Knapp. We've been doing this for a long time, around 17 years now. And I think, Diana always says that, there with four wheels of the car, there's the three of us, but each and every one of you who attend either live or down the track are as critical for the success of this call. And, while yes, it's a bit of work to pull this together and a commitment, I think we're blessed, far more blessed than the work that we put into it. So, and today we're really excited to have Sarah back. She comes once or twice a year and gives us an update on our huge mission of Manatech, which is feeding malnourished children. And at a quick look on who's here so far, I know some people have to arrive a bit late on a Saturday morning. There are some new people, so I'll just give you a little bit of Sarah's background. As an executive director of the M5M Foundation, Sarah leads the efforts that help combat the epidemic of childhood malnutrition. Previously, she held the position of Director of Human Resources at Manatech and was a valued employee for over 9 years. She accepted the position of Executive Director of the M5M Foundation at its launch in January of 2015. Sarah oversees the daily operations as well as coordinates the expansion of the organization's efforts. She has traveled extensively throughout her career, attending international mission outreaches and experiencing firsthand the effects of childhood malnutrition. In 2014, she had the privilege of visiting Guatemala with one of our partners, Our Youth for Children, which this solidified her passion to help others. Sarah has always had a passion for helping children in need, and her dream has been realized with the M5M Foundation. So, for those of you that are already committed, the M5M Foundation is the very heart of Manatech. It's the, it's like the root of all the good that we are. And it's the way we, the ability to transform at-risk children around the world that would have nobody if it wasn't for us is just such a privilege, really. So Sarah, thank you so very much for being with us here in Australasia this morning.
Thank you for having me.
So Sarah, let's go back to the beginning. Just fill us in a little bit more on that journey of how you came to work with Manatech and then the transition to the M5M Foundation.
Yes, so I came to work for Manatech in 2005. This will be my 16th year, which is hard to believe that it's gone by so fast. And I came in as an English major doing communications and human resources. I had a background in human resources through college. So I was just really struck by the difference in the heart of the company. And I really felt like it was just a place where everyone belonged, and I made some incredible friends and stayed through HR to the point where then I became the head of HR, and we were, going through so many changes as a company, growing really quickly. And then, of course, there were times when we were, doing global view and different countries opening, and all of these things were so exciting. And at every turn, we were nourishing children through Manna Relief at the time. So I was always inspired when I would hear of people talking about the work that we did. And I really felt like the employees connected, but we didn't have a chance to really feel like we were a part of it. And so as I got the chance to go to Guatemala as an employee, it was kind of a one-off event. I had gone to Africa 2 years before that. In 2009, I'd gone to Africa, and I had been on a mission with a different organization. This was an organization of a bunch of New York seamstresses. They actually worked on the set of Gossip Girl, which was really very exciting to me. But they had taught a bunch of Ugandan women how to sew and set up microloans and businesses. And so I went for the first time to Africa, and Africa is a totally different place. We went to Uganda, and I'd never experienced anything like that. And in one of the orphanages that we were visiting, it was actually a place where they had microloaned some farm animals. Someone showed me manna bears, and it was so random because I was like, oh, I work for that company. So that's kind of the seed that planted in my heart of like, wow, we're a really big deal and people don't know this about us. So then I went to Guatemala and really saw what we were doing firsthand. And I went to my boss at the time was Dr. Sinnott, and I just said, I would really like to do this. I don't know how to be part of this, but I'd really like to have a change and to try to help. And he said, well, that's funny. We've been talking about creating a foundation that's closer to the company, and we have a little bit more insight and also just touch points. And so I got volunteered willingly. I volunteered, and they said, we've never done this and you've never done this, but let's take a chance on each other. So we did, and that was 5 years ago, which is hard to believe. It's gone by really, really fast, but it's been the most beautiful experience to get to do this.
That's so fantastic. And, tell us about when you went to that Guatemalan experience and what really impacted you about the children that, lit this fire in your heart.
Yeah, I think it really was to see the kids and how dependent they were on us for their next meal. I don't think I had any idea the difference we were making in their lives and how people would line up an hour, 2 hours in advance with their own little dish for us to put in food and Fido blend at the time. And just tears falling from my eyes as I'm serving these children who have been lined up waiting for this food, and realizing just the responsibility that we had to make sure that we continued so that they could count on us. I was really blown away by that.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but some of those children didn't even get fed every day, did they?
No. This is for some their only meal of the day, or they're talking about like 4 times a week receiving meals. The poverty is really great, and it's really hard to understand for us in especially this Western world of how it could even be.
Yeah. I mean, we're so blessed where we live, aren't we? It's inconceivable to know that children are out there, and that, with our company, and we'll go more deeply into the social entrepreneurial side of things, the very fabric of who we are is to support these children. So,
Yeah.
and were you at that trip? I mean, no, Fido Blend was the precursor to what we're doing now, but at that trip, did you already get a chance of the benefit that some of these kids were experiencing of having, that micronutrients added to the whatever food they ate?
Yes. They would talk to us all the time about how the kids were experiencing more energy, and they were attending classes, whereas before they would fall asleep, or towards the middle of semester, they would just quit coming to school altogether. It was really remarkable. And they would just talk about just the brightness in the children's eyes and the way that their skin and their hair was growing and looking. And you could tell that they just could see the value in what we were giving.
Yeah, they start to play and have a normal childlike life, don't
Yes,
they?
yes.
And so take us from there to M5M Foundation, setting it up, those early days, and some of the transitions you've had since then.
Yeah, I've been telling everyone. So we made it the first 5 years, and it feels like I learned a lot of lessons. In those beginning times, we were transitioning everyone to M5M from Mana Relief, and I had great partners there at Mana Relief that helped me work through the newness of all of it, and then they let me fly on my own. But what's been interesting is just seeing our programs evolve. And about 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago, we were synced up with kids around the world, which ended up just being a real answer for us, because we'd gone into several different locations where they had the nutrition, but they were really struggling to raise funds for food. And so this kind of answered both of our issues, which were feeding and nourishing. And so that really set us off course to be able to distribute not just nourishment, but food as well, and a different distribution channel that helped us so much, because they were paying for all the shipping, and that is just a huge cost savings.
Mm.
So that was really, really awesome for us to have that within like our third and fourth years. And then,
So
you
just
know,
to
I feel like,
clarify, Sarah, can I just jump
yes,
in to clarify for people that are brand new, when Sarah's referring to feeding and nourishing, so it sounds like at that point, sometimes we could provide them the Phytoblend or our, I don't know if it was one meal or Phytoblend by then, but they didn't have actually rice or beans or anything to
yes,
put that in to feed. Is that correct? So actual real food was a problem for them.
it was. We were finding so many locations that were saying, we really appreciate your nutrition, but we're struggling to, you know, consistently receive funding to be able to buy food. So that was a real,
Mm.
real issue for us.
And then outline more about what that other company does that partnered with
Yes.
M5M Foundation.
Yeah, I'm trying to see, do I have my packet here, but maybe I don't. I thought I put it in here. But
That's
Kids
okay.
Around the World is another nonprofit,
Yeah.
and they focus on these one meal packets, which are rice, lentils, vegetables, and then our packet of Phytoblend powder. And so a Phytoblend goes in every one of those packs, and in each pack, it's 6 meals. So that really was a blessing to us because all of a sudden they were providing the food and we were providing the nutrition. And so it just kind of exponentially grew to where our reach just really expanded through our partnership with them.
I'm got goosebumps from head to toe because there's so many people out there that have just such a vision of good, and to be able to synchronize like that, and to it's like exponentially a far greater outcome for these kids, isn't it?
It
So
was,
where are they going
it was,
into now? How did that change?
so that's so interesting because we originally found out about them. I was in South Africa with Landon Frederick and his dad, Stan, the chairman of Manatech's board. We had taken a trip to South Africa and we were there, and we noticed that as the aunties were cooking the food, they were pouring in packets, but they were throwing out this little packet. And I said, "What is that?"
Oh,
And
no.
she said, "Oh, you should call them. These are their vitamins and they're awful. We just use yours." So they were using the 1 meal pack and then they were putting Phytoblend in it. She said, "It would be so much easier if you could just call them and you could put your vitamin in this packet. I wouldn't have to throw it away." And so we called and they were like, "Oh, we have been looking for better nutrition and we would love to talk with you guys." And come to find out, they'd been established the same year as Manatech. So they're 25 years old as well. It was just really just so many like serendipitous, coincidences that you just felt like, wow, we really are aligned. And so that was really fun and really neat, and we were able to do that. So yeah, we have really enjoyed our partnership with them and just feeling like we're continuing to grow into the next 5 years. We recently just had a strategic planning meeting to discuss what is this next 5 years going to look like for M5M.
Can you tell us any about that?
Well, I can't tell you everything because some of it is manifest related. But I felt like, I don't know if any of you have heard Landon, but he almost spills the beans every time we start to talk. I'm like, save it for manifest. But how many of you hopefully saw a few of his videos and pictures? He and Al went to Ecuador um, about 3 weeks, no, almost a month ago. Yeah, 3 weeks to a month ago. And so they just had an incredible trip. And I did not get to go on that trip because I planned to go in November with Melissa, who is my counterpart at Kids Around the World. And I I definitely had a little bit of fear of missing out seeing them there, but I think it was strategically good for them to go without me because they kind of were pushed to the forefront and they came back on fire, and it wasn't just me like trying to fan a
Pushing them,
flame.
yeah.
Yeah, they were like, "Sarah, we have to plan. We need to do some really new things." So it's been great because I felt like I kind of carried the vision for that first 5 years as far as I knew what to do. And then the second 5 years, I had some great ideas, but we all came together and spent a full day in a conference room just talking about where we wanted to grow and what we wanted to see happen. So how do I say, there are going to be a lot more opportunities for us to know who we're giving to and know the children and the families. We're really focusing on family. I don't know if you guys have seen the new shirts for Manifest yet, but they say we are family. And so this whole focus really is us transforming communities for these next 5 years. And we're focusing on families and empowering moms. You know, something we didn't ever think of. It never crossed my mind how, as a mom, I'm a stepmom, how much I enjoy cooking for my family. You know, it's one of the ways I love them is cooking healthy, nutritious meals. And I like to menu plan and I like to think about it. And we never really thought about what it's like for a mom in a home to have to send their children to a feeding center to eat, the shame that she experiences not being able to feed her own children. And so one meal is now going into homes with moms, and you're going to see some really, really impactful videos that Al's choking up on the video, Landon's crying on the video, I cry every time I watch it. Seeing us
I'm
go into
crying
these
now.
homes, yeah, getting
Oh my God.
getting to empower moms to cook for their children and know that they're cooking a nourishing meal. And so that's really where our heart is. We want to see communities transformed, and we want to be able to know who we're helping and get to know them, you know, build relationships. I can say that incentives are going to be a little bit different moving forward too. And so I think that's exciting for all of us, no matter what country you're in. So that's all I can say. I have to save the rest.
Tears rolling down my face. I'm such an empath. I can just totally feel how those moms might feel that
Oh,
and
yes.
how soul destroying that would be. And, you know, they'd be probably, I project here, but I suspect they have felt up until meeting you guys very powerless in how to change that.
Yeah, definitely. And it was one of the things that even just like during COVID, several of them had lost like outside income opportunities. And so they were like, one meal helped us stretch our food bill. And I can tell my daughter is taking PhytoBlend and she looks different. And I mean, on top of that, Kids Around the World has been really, really, one of their programs is installing playgrounds. They believe play is really important for children. So it's hand in hand. So in Ecuador, Al and Landon built a playground. And so you get to see the families that they're sitting with and eating one meal in PhytoBlend with. And then you get to see those kids go play full of energy on this playground that was built. So I just want to say, don't miss Manifest, because there's going to be a lot of M5M focus. And I think you're going to be so thrilled with where we're going in the next 5 years.
And so for those that you aren't, you might be just only listening to audio, we did put a link in the chat where you can register for Manifest. It's in 2 weeks from now. So if you're watching this later down the track, it was in that Manifest we're talking about is in early September 2021. And if you can't see the link, it's available on the Manatech Australasian website or the US one. It's everywhere. But if you're someone that's not connected yet to Manatech and you want to learn more about this, the person who invited you to this call can and get that information for you. So how exciting, Sarah.
Yes. You know, I think for me, it just kind of re-inspired me that, you know, when we talk about Manatech and we talk about the empowerment that, you know, having your own business, especially in these times where communication is different, connection is different, community is different. You know, the last 2 years, we just would have never seen this coming, you know, and so it's impacted a lot of our communities because we have been so dependent on kids going to school or feeding programs at schools or tutoring programs at schools. And with the kids not going to school in a lot of areas, especially where the lockdowns have been a little bit more strict, you know, there was no avenue to like push nutrition out. And so this really has been a huge answer for us because we do want to empower the family. And we really do want it to start at home because we really believe that that education of what is nutrition should be starting from the home. And so it's been a great opportunity for us to brainstorm about Manatech growth and how we can grow as a company, but then really the heart of our company is kind of like leading the way, and it always has, where M5M has kind of like charted the territory, that we are like newly embarking into. And I just see that really changing for Manatech as well, where we can see community that even looks different really being transformed by our product and our science and our knowledge, but also each other and what we bring to the table with our relationships. Because that's the other thing we all know is like relationship is so important now. And so for us to be able to go to the same places and see the same faces and to build relationship, I just feel like that's really important because people want to be known, and it also, really locks us in. Kind of what I was saying, that responsibility where it's like, I know a name and a face and a family that's depending on me to get one meal to them. And so that inspires growth and inspires people to continue with the business, but then also for Manatech, for us to continue with that being the center of who we are.
Mm. No, absolutely. You know what, Sarah, I'm just realizing I've been a bit remiss. Some people might not even understand the process by which this gets funded. So do you want to just expand on that and the foundation of social entrepreneurial business?
Yes. So the wonderful thing about this is that we are, a social entrepreneurship model at Manatech. So for every product sold, there's a donation that's generated, and that donation is delivered to the M5M Foundation on a monthly basis. So it's a percentage of sales. And so it's wonderful because I don't have to spend all of my time raising funds. I do raise outside funds because we want to continue growing and we've got a lot of need out there. But this is an opportunity for you as a business partner with Manatech to be able to not just nourish yourself, but also just with the purchase of a product, you're nourishing a child in another country that needs this amazing technology and needs this food as well. So it's a great model. It's kind of like a Tom's Shoes, or there's so many different companies that are doing it now because honestly, people look at social impact, but when they're choosing a company, this is like one of the most important things that people kind of comb through to see, is this a business I want to be part of? Do they give back? Do they have a heart? And is there generosity? And so we can say that, yes, this is our new currency is social impact, and we really feel like it is the most important thing that we do. And there's so much dedication from our leaders and our executives to continue with that donation model where it is just a donation by consumption. So it's incredible.
That's fantastic, Sarah. And I think it's important to note too that percentage of sales is not percentage of profit, is it?
Right.
So this
No,
is
no, no.
a foundational commitment before profit, that our
Yes.
mission with Mantech is not only to nourish ourselves, each and every one of us, and partner with people to build income or lifestyle, but we also, at every step we take, whether you're a customer or a business partner with Mantech, are impacting at-risk children around the world.
Yes. Yeah, it's a wonderful model and it helps us create that sustainability for these organizations that we're working with so that they know they can count on us.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because, and the automatic order thing is really amazing too, because I imagine other people trying to facilitate the same kind of program would have a lot more variation in their volume and their income coming in to support this. Whereas automatic orders is sort of to a degree, a guaranteed flow of support for you at M5M Foundation.
It is. It really enables me to commit to the number of meals we can donate. Right now, we're doing 8 to 9 million a year, which is great because this is not just nutrition. This is food included. So that's really changed, how we're doing the donations. So it's really been awesome.
And there's some comments in the chat. They can watch the number of kids you feel on your website at m5mfoundation.org.
Yes, but also on your website. So as you sign up for Manatech, they're now including what your
In the back
business is
office, that's
doing,
right.
yeah, in the back office. And they're changing some recognition as well. So that's something that's going to be really new. It won't be based on your level as, how do I, where you're already getting the recognition for like executive director, silver,
Yeah.
different things like that. This is going to be a completely different model of recognition. So it will kind of go in tandem where you'll be an M5M champion and then a philanthropist. And so that's going to be really cool because you're going to see your Manatech grow, your titles grow, but then also just your M5M contribution, how that grows as well. So I'm excited for us to be able to roll that out too, because you'll get a little different pin, which will be fun.
Mm, that's awesome. Really awesome. And so another thing for people who aren't business partners with Mantech and you're a customer listening to this, there's new lower end bonuses available to develop a little pod of people. And that's a way that if you don't have time or it's not in your heart to have a business, you can still invite your friends to have their own benefit with the nutrition, and that this will impact children. So there's so many ways, that's right for anybody that's wanting to do something like this.
Yes, yes. And those customers really are those consistent people who are helping us. We their product purchase counts as well towards
Yeah,
donation. So we're just so appreciative for all of the support.
no, absolutely. And so, Sarah, is there anything else coming up that you wanted to outline for us, or anything that I've missed in asking you?
Well, those are the main things. And I do, want to kind of keep giving you that teaser
For
for
Manifest?
Manifest because I can't share everything, but it is really exciting what we're going to be able to do. And I just think where we've failed some in reporting because it's very difficult when we're working with these other locations, they don't quite have the sophistication and the technology to report back to us how the children are doing at all times. We'll get pictures, we'll get names sometimes, and just, a quick like, man, everything is different, but we want to know what is different. And so this is going to really help us to focus our communication differently, to be able to tie it. There's going to be children that are part of getting like a physical exam twice a year so that we can see like, where is this nutrition making a difference, and we
Mm.
can see it in studies. And really that's going to help us a lot. It's going to help us tremendously. So those are some things I'm really excited about.
Yeah. And anyway, you can't put words on the benefits of this program,
Yeah,
and what we're doing for children. It's almost indescribable, isn't it?
it is. And then now to see how it's affecting the whole families as well, and it's like it's great to make a difference in a family, and then you look at the communities, and then you just keep seeing that grow,
Mm.
into, wow, we're really transforming lives. And all because someone is giving on the other side of the world. And so we want to make that world smaller so that you can feel and see the contribution. That's really important, I think.
And Sarah, there's been a long time goal for a lot of people to expand this program into Australasia. Is that moving any closer to fruition at all?
Yes, I will say this. Southeast Asia is like the top of our list.
Yeah.
And I actually did the strategic planning meeting with Manatech the last 2 days, Monday, Tuesday of this week. And so we talked about growing in that area. And I can say it's just at the top of mind for everyone. We just know it's got to happen, and it's got to happen quickly.
And Australia and
So
New
yes.
Zealand?
So there are some organizations there, yes, that we have talked with. So it's just developing that relationship where we just keep
Mm.
growing and they're getting the buy-in. That's one of the other things I'm excited about is I think with some of these studies and reports on PhytoBlend and what it does, it's going to help us to approach other organizations and say, look, we have statistics here. We have actual clinical studies that will show you how this will impact, because a lot of people just don't want to take a chance.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if we have some of that data, I think it's going to really help us.
No, Absolutely. And, I can say as a former ICU and emergency nurse that Australasia, and Australia in particular, is very, the health policy area is very resistant to natural medicine. So
Yeah.
even the foundational benefits of nutrition kind of just goes straight over their heads. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
no, it's
We
a big journey and that data is going to really make a difference. So you're spot on with that.
Yeah, I think that's going to be an open door for us for sure.
So Sarah, I think that we're just about complete, it feels like to me, although we've done quickly, but that's sometimes, a 30 to 40-minute call is fantastic for people who wouldn't give the hour commitment. So what's in your heart to leave us with today, besides see you at Manifest?
Yeah, I just want to tell you, like, I don't want to speak for everyone that's gone on this group, but it was really interesting because I didn't get to go on this trip this last time. And we had our video guys and our photo guys go. And so they were kind of behind the scenes, they weren't building a playground, they weren't, serving meals, but I was texting with the leader of the trip because he's really great at making the trips just full. And one of the video guys, he's been with Manatech about 3 years, but he'd never been on a trip. And he kind of makes me laugh because he said he's, one of those jaded individuals that's kind of like, I don't cry a lot, and we'll see. And so the end of the first day, they were passing the microphone around the bus and just asking everyone to share, what was on their heart. And he just like broke out into tears and said, I can't believe what I saw today. And now I know why you do what you do. And he called me the Monday he got home and just, Sarah, so excited, talked to me about just the kids that he saw on the other side of the camera and how he taught them how to use his camera. And, it was just like so neat to see an employee who's felt a little bit far removed and kind of like, oh yeah, we're great. We do this wonderful thing. But the difference that it made just once he was there in person. And then Landon got to take his daughter, Olivia, and that was really fascinating because she's a senior and it's going to be a senior in high school this year. The sun is setting here, so it's making my my face look really different. But
That's okay.
so she, really, really was just changed on this trip. And I think one of the most touching things was she said, I love hearing what my dad really does when he works these long days. I had no idea, he was making this kind of difference in the world. Of course, Landon is at that point just a puddle of tears, because how rewarding to hear that from your child, but I just thought, this really is amazing that we don't want to take it for granted what we get to do, and as we get to grow, we don't want to ever kind of get used to it, I guess, is what I'm trying to say, where it doesn't just shock us almost every day, how we're part of a company that really does care. And we have leaders and executives who want to take time out of their schedules to go on a trip and serve others, to build a playground and to sit in village homes and eat lentils and rice. And, I don't know, that says so much about our servant leadership, that I think for me, it just kind of renewed my trust and my faith in who they are, to see that as well. So it just, we don't experience that a lot from a lot of different companies. And I think those of you who've worked in like a corporate environment could say that would maybe never happen where you came from. And so, it is really, really special and really, really unique. And really just a blessing, a huge, huge blessing, what we get to do.
Absolutely. As a Manatech, someone who's partnered with Manatech for over 20 years for business, first for my health and then to help others, we often talk about the wording of when it moves from your head into your heart. There's one thing of understanding the technology and the information. There's another part that where you can really feel when you help somebody with their well-being and they improve it,
Yeah.
or and it sounds like that's what's happened with M5M too, with some of these people that have gone and had this lived experience, and it changes you forever.
Yeah. I think it does, exactly, from your head to your heart. And so I see so many people commenting like we want to go on a trip.
That's right.
I'm sorry. And I'm like, we're gonna have some opportunities for that. So I think as we keep growing, it'll be really a great opportunity for people to go with us.
Sarah, thank you so much. You've blessed us all today. I know that we can use this video to help people really understand the benefits of their automatic orders, the benefits of partnering for business, or whatever way is right for them to be with Manitech. So God bless you. Thank you for being with all of us in Australasia, and we appreciate all that you're doing.
Oh, thank you all for having me. And please, you can always send me an email or find me on Facebook, wherever you can, so that we can connect. I want to, make sure that you feel inspired every day by what you're doing. So please don't hesitate to reach out. I love you all. I'm so grateful for you.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you so very much. And next week, everybody, we have Kevin Robbins, and we're going to be talking everything Kevin, which he's a master of information and inspiration and knowledge and skills and success. So I can't wait. Sarah, thank you very much. And that's 2 weeks to manifest. So we need to find out all these secrets that Sarah's been telling us today.
Yes, you've got to be on. It's going to be exciting.
All right. Fantastic, everyone. Have a great weekend. Thanks for being here. We appreciate you. Bye, Sarah.